So we're working with another one of my World War II era cookbooks. This one is America's Cookbook by the New York Herald Tribune Home Institute. I believe I've cooked from this one before. It's quickly becoming a favorite. This is the third edition, 1944, and has a wartime supplement in the back, just like my American Woman's Cookbook. And I wanted something sweet, so we went for the butterscotch slices. It's 3 cups of sifted flour, 3 teaspoons baking powder, a half teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of shortening, 1 1/4 cups of firmly packed brown sugar, a half teaspoon of vanilla, and 2 eggs. Mix and sift flour, baking powder, and salt. Cream shortening until soft. Gradually beat in brown sugar, then vanilla, and 1 egg at a time. Stir in flour, shape in rolls about 2 inches in diameter, and wrap each in wax paper. Chill thoroughly in refrigerator. Cut chilled roll in 1/8 inch slices. Place on greased baking sheet and bake in moderate hot oven at 400 degrees. About 8 minutes. Approximate yield 8 to 9 dozen. I'm going to say, for me, 7.5 minutes was perfect. 8, they got a little crispy. But, yeah, my son decided to do me a favor and eat all the ones that were a little too dark. So even with that, I am guessing they're not so bad. So I start by sifting the dry ingredients, the flour and baking powder and salt. And then I put the shortening in a mixing bowl to cream. And then once it's all nice and fluffy, I start adding in the brown sugar just a bit at a time. And then once it's kind of mixed in, I add a little more until we get through the whole 1 1/4 cups of brown sugar. That seems like a lot of sugar, and then you'll realize it's supposed to make 8 to 9 dozen cookies. And then I add the 2 eggs, 1 at a time, and then add in the half a teaspoon of vanilla. And after scraping the sides down, which I love my KitchenAid, we did not have to do that with my grandmother's old Sunbeam. It all just kind of scraped as it went along. But anyway, start adding the flour in, and I was doing this a little bit at a time as well. Otherwise, the flour explodes everywhere in my kitchen. And once again, I have the black gloves out because I still have a wound on my hand, and I don't like the feel of dough and stuff under my fingernails. But it roll out to approximately 2 inch. I might have done a little too narrow here. I don't know. And then wrap it in wax paper. I ended up with 5 of these rolls. And I would choose about like a fist-sized lump and then just start rolling it out. And because there's only 3 of us in the house this week, because my wife once again went to England without me, I decided to put 4 of the 5 rolls into saran wrap and freeze them. And then after the other one had chilled in the fridge for a couple of hours, I pulled it out and started slicing. And this is what the cookies look like after a full 8 minutes in the oven. As you can see, the edges are a little bit dark. So I decided to slice some more and cook them at 7.5 minutes. I actually tried 7 and they didn't get that nice golden crispness that I liked. So here's the final product. These are not a super sweet cookie, which seems to be pretty typical of these vintage recipes, but they were delicious and they barely lasted long enough for them to cool with only 3 people in the house.